Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, where today the area is becoming a little bit dense with threats. There's a lot of people out there who want our head, and they're kind of coming from a lot of different directions now. We're starting to see some slightly more advanced units, which means we need to get on our slightly more advanced units. But at the moment, we don't have time to sit around and recruit. We gotta get a move on here. So I think taking the Tower of Crack would probably not be in our best interest at the moment, because if we push down here, we're just opening ourselves up to more, like, attacks from more sides. We got to worry about the Ungol kindred here. It seems like a lot of the hostility is kind of flowing this way. So let's fall back toward Black Gulch. I think we're probably going to lose the Altar of Crimson Harvest to Hamathane Frost here in the near future, but it does have like a proper garrison set up, so it'll at least be it will take a little bit of effort. And while they're figuring that out, I'm hoping we can get ourselves back in some kind of proper position here. So I certainly, you know, I didn't really think about it. I just kind of, I set this up for like economic growth. I probably should have built some kind of garrison building at the Forbidden Citadel. Yeah, maybe an error on my part. Now, we do actually have a fair amount of money and quite a lot of income as well. So perhaps this is the time, especially since we actually did finish some of these recruitment buildings, perhaps this is the time to begin recruiting that second army. So we need to be at 1540 Slaanesh Glory, which we're very close to. That should happen any moment now. A single battle where we dedicate to Slaanesh or something like that will be sufficient. Where are we at on our... Okay, here we go. So we're not really that far from being able to dedicate. And I do think I want to dedicate Undivided. We have picked up a ton of Nurgle bonuses. So Plague Bearers, Exalted Plague Bearers. Yeah, this kind of stuff is why we put the major settlement toward Nurgle. We've picked up some offering from Khorne. Control +1 for every concurrent war with a neighboring faction in all provinces. That's kind of neat. There are so many little bonuses that we are slowly accumulating here, and I'm not paying a ton of attention to any one specifically. Oh, that's right. We still haven't used the Seduce Units feature, but now that we have enough income, that is a real possibility in these next couple of battles. Okay, so that'll help offset the numbers. What is it going to cost us to start running a second army at this moment? So it'll be 96 extra upkeep just for the army, plus the extra upkeep for the hero, or for the lord who's running the thing, plus, like, what are we... We're currently paying 2,400 per turn for this army. So if we put together another army of only this complexity, and keep in mind this is a very, very low complexity army, it would completely it would have us dead broke. So I don't know. Maybe we could get started though. It's going to be quite a while. Actually, no, it's not. Never mind. I was going to say it's going to be quite a while before we have the growth to push to the next thing, but actually we're already at 4 surplus population. We need 16,000 favor. Okay, maybe we just save for a minute. We can push the Doomkeep to tier 5. We can start recruiting fancier units in Iglixis' army then. Am I allowed to do recruiting? No, not in teleport stance. Okay, I kind of figured. All right. Well, let's just get out here and throw some elbows then. Perhaps you could reave some blood from these folks. Alright, Kran has successfully assaulted those units, and having your heroes interact with an army is a good way to reveal more of the units. Sadly, it didn't work this time, but you can see a lot of these units are in pretty bad shape now. Can you contribute, or will they be... Okay, they are on guard because we just hit them. So yeah, probably not worth doing that. But we can try to, like, remove some of these other agents around here. Ooh, critical failure. A lass of change has wounded itself quite badly in the attempt. So yeah, that'll probably be 5 turns is my guess. Yep, okay. That's what it was in the last game. In the meantime, do we want to devote population in this region? I mean, I do. I want to upgrade the Altar of the Crimson Harvest. I just don't think it's a wise idea to do it right now. This I think is reasonable to upgrade. Let's make Black Gulch as safe as we can make it. And then there's no unit recruitment tied to any of this stuff. So I sort of want to build a recruitment thing here. Proper Chaos Warriors would not be a bad thing to have. Yeah, you know what? Get me a Chaos Warrior building. And gosh, there goes all the money, huh? So there are these like shipwrecks and stuff that just appear in the water, and I have not been taking advantage of them because we haven't really had time to have our main army go sailing. But after we clean this up, maybe we can salvage some cash. We've gained access to a Colossal Morningstar. That's very exciting. That's exactly the kind of Morningstar I want to wield. God. There are so many of them. There are so many of them on the way. Now, what I can tell you for sure is that those men of the Orthodoxy... You know what? Yes, sure. Those men of the Orthodoxy and Hamathane Frost people are not going to get together. So, hopefully they'll just get in each other's way a little bit. Looks like Vladimir Prvak has decided maybe he would rather burn the Sarl encampment than come after me. Perhaps figuring that if he stops coming after me, my demons will stop coming after him, which, yeah, that's likely to be the case. Okay, still a lot of hostility over there. Some of the Norskin raiding parties returning. So yeah, they're going to put the altar under siege. They're not going to attack it right away because we have a reasonable garrison there and everything. So here's hoping that we can actually get there in time. In the Bay of Blades, the land itself erupts in obsidian spines from far below, some coated in crimson blood, some in noxious bile, others exuding a bewitching, bittersweet fragrance, and others still bearing a shimmering halo of eldritch flame. The ruinous powers lay claim to this realm. Okay, so lots of additional corruption.
This world will burn.
So if we're in just normal movement stance, we can make it to here. It is kind of a pain in the ass to get to the Altar of the Crimson Harvest. I think there's no doubt in my mind that we can take Kastalton's army. Well, he is using more advanced units though, isn't he? Alright, let's have...
Drink from your skull.
Let's have you just run over here. You don't get to play this turn, but we're gonna need you soon.
Supreme Champion.
So here we have access to Nurglings, Rotflies, Chaos Furies, and Chaos Warhounds, because those are the only recruitment buildings that are around. Have another turn left before the Cornate Altar is ready. I might just do a normal... Let's just take a full move. Do I want to turn on March mode and get that extra couple of steps?
Blasphemy! I serve Ursa.
His army's almost entirely made up of gun troops at this point. These light war sleds have rifles, and then he's got a couple of great weapons. So I mean, this is definitely going to be a little bit more compelling against us. I think shields still work against small arms fire.
Hellish power.
Yeah, small arms missile fire. That's got to include rifles, right?
Chaos incarnate.
All right, I'm going to take the extra distance. I don't think he can take us. I think he's just going to run. Here we are, probably just waiting. Oh, right, we could outpost. I'm allowed to build an outpost in Marienburg. It's very funny. I would not like to do that, actually. I don't think I want to spend 3,000 favor on that. We're gonna need our favor in the near future. Some amount of it anyway. I don't trust that they're gonna hold on to Marienburg for very long. Alright, so lots of demons running around our territory, increasing corruption. All of which is good news for us. Castalton's just gonna leave, fine by me. And as soon as Castalton bails, so does the rest of their force. Yeah, that's fine. This will allow me to catch up with Hama Thainfrost and have the words with him that we have so desperately needed to have.
Better to be by my side than in my path.
What could you possibly want? Okay, you want to pay me for military access. I'm actually super into that. What on earth is your army doing that you think you need access to my land? I mean, I would imagine they have their own problems, right? We can see that that dwarf nation still exists. They have their colors on the map. And apparently all of the loose agents from the southern lands are just going to come up here and annoy me. I mean, for the moment, they're holding Marienburg. Wild. Veditas. Concerned that you do not favor them, Veditas has requested that she be branded. I mean, okay. Can I get her stats? No, I cannot. It would be nice to be able to see what her current melee attack is. I'm going to give her the Mark of the Great Beast. She does love to know rage as never before. Iglixis, the great creator. It's not enough to create something beautiful. The flavor text doesn't always apply equally to all factions. So I think Hama's just gonna run here probably if we approach like this. So let's do an ambush walk up. And I know that this is not like ideal ambush territory, but at this point we have a lot of bonuses to our ambush chance. I think if he sees us, he's just gonna bail, and I don't want him to bail. I want to close my hands around that neck. That is where we are going. I don't think Cran is actually going to be necessary here, so just continue to harass Castalton. Yeah, yep, okay. We're using him to assault units a lot. Let's buy some of this up. So some of these upgrades are not about increasing the likelihood of success, but rather just increasing the effect. This is an upgrade we should actually probably take, because like I said, we're gonna get here really soon. We do have some passive Slenish Glory income. Yeah, we just have 9 coming in every turn. And I do want to be able to recruit Seekers. So that's expensive, but worth it. Over here, I mean, the faster you upgrade your income buildings, the faster you get income. 16,000 favor for that Doomkeep upgrade is that's gonna be a challenge. Oh, right, we didn't look at the Colossal Morningstar. It's hard for me to imagine. Wow, plus 20 bonus infantry is, or bonus versus infantry is actually, like, very impressive. So... okay, this is not a very good set bonus, though. I don't think we really need to spread Nurgle corruption specifically all that badly. Yeah, I think we'll stick with what we got here. All right, if Hama doesn't attack this turn, he is in some serious trouble, I think. Nobody wants to party with Iglixis. I can't imagine why. We don't exactly know where the Ungol kindred went, but they clearly were not successful in taking over that that Sarl encampment there. That army just vanish? There doesn't seem to be a lot of cohesion of vision amongst the Norskins right now. We're just kind of... Oh, wow. Okay. The Bjornlings are building an outpost in the Forbidden Citadel. Cool. Cool and good. What happened to... Hellpit fell to the Ice Court. Interesting. They don't get anything special out of it, right? Yeah, it's just special to Skaven. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go after Hamathane Frost here. He's going to break and run rather than fight us, I'm sure.
Annihilation.
But I'm hoping we'll have enough movement left to pursue. Yep. Full cowardice. We do not. We do not, in fact, have enough movement left to pursue. Now that he's backed off here, though, we're going to go ahead and do this. I am certain we will have time to upgrade this now. Do we want to upgrade the growth building too? An extra 10? Yeah, you know what? That's probably worth it. We're going to need to buy a lot of population for that region.
No! Skull throw! Blood Reaper, dishonest core!
It was a reasonable attempt. So, okay, this might be an answer to what happened. Maybe the Beastmen and the Sarl together were able to repel. I don't know. It does kind of seem like that army just disappeared, but whatever. Fine by me. So unfortunately, with us not being able to pursue Thanefrost, I am concerned he is going to actually get away again. But the proper solution to this problem may just be to continue taking away all of his settlements. We'll starve him out like we starved out the Skaven. So now that we actually control multiple provinces, it's important to understand the way that the recruitment pools are built. Each province's local recruitment pool can only produce the units that come from buildings that actually exist in that province. So down here in our southern area, we're not going to be able to recruit Seekers, even though we now have a building in the Doomkeep that lets us do that. Kastalton tried to lay an ambush, but he was unsuccessful. We saw through it. The thirsts of our units are slaked, which is cool. So we're gonna have to be a little bit thoughtful about where we set up. What is this? We have a rogue army. Pinch Eye of the Glothal Brood. You're neat. What the heck kind of thing are you? I mean, it's some kind of chaos demon, obviously, but...
Demon Prince.
Okay, what if I march mode, can I get in front of him? Yeah. Alright, I want to press him southward. So we're going to walk around his zone of control and plant our own zone of control directly in front of him. And then we'll chase him out of our land. I kind of want to just keep harassing Kastalton. Or at least, maybe what I should have said is, I would like to actually start harassing Castalton. I think that would be good for us. So the deal with these rogue armies is each one of them has some kind of theme, and over time they will build up units that are related to their theme. And if you let them, they can take over a region potentially and like become a real faction on the world map. But also, if you see them in this early state where they're just beginning recruitment, obviously it's like trivial to wipe them out. I kind of want to see what is going to become of him. Unfortunately, there's not really an easy way for us to give them a settlement, because I need all the settlements around here. The Disciples of the Maw have declared war on the Greylings, and since we have a defensive alliance, we either have to enter the war on their side, or we have to decline, break the alliance, and be seen as an unreliable friend by everyone else. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to it. The ogres have a vastly superior military to us, but they're not going to come up here. I don't imagine. I think this is mostly about Marienburg. And I will at least keep up the appearance of sticking to my agreements, even if we have no intention of actually fighting any ogres at any point. Although, I mean, that said, I sure would like to own Marienburg. Okay, so some of our allies are going after the Sarls, which is fun. Ice Court dominates. A Lass of Change has respawned over at the Forbidden Citadel. Well, why don't you try to harass Castalton? He's very chatty. Oh, right. I forgot we even had this quest. Okay, that's all the glory we needed to get the Seekers.
The Tome of Fates warns that a roar from Ursun is coming. Prepare your armies to defend from demonic ink.
Okay, so there's going to be a roar soon. That's good news. I was very much hoping for another one soon. Can we see? So you've got some Forsaken of Tzeentch. Okay, we don't really know yet. Interesting.
Supreme Champion.
I guess Hama didn't feel like it was safe to move toward the Bjornlings, so he came out of raiding mode, but he just isn't doing anything.
I cannot be stopped.
Which should mean that this is where we finally get him. He'll run away, but he doesn't get to run away a second time.
Doom is upon them.
And this is where we break him. And I think this is going to be a pretty boring battle. We can just auto-resolve this.
Annihilate them in my name, minions. Bestow ruination upon them.
Okay. Seduce units budget down for enemy Slaanesh armies in the local region. So it's specifically, that's really specific. It will only affect armies of Slaanesh. And also, we can't even equip that follower on our lord, because he doesn't roll like that. Right, so we were leveling up Ravishing Cavalcade, which I think will end up being worth quite a lot once we've finished it.
Rewards me once more.
You probably we want to fill in our spell stuff a little bit more. Let's grab magical reserves as well. More wins means more spellcasting. And then, right now, which region am I standing in? This is still the Bay of Blades. So if we go into recruitment mode right here, we can actually pull things from the Doomkeep. So maybe this is a good idea. Oh, here's the border right here. What does it take to switch into encampment mode?
Minions proved capable.
It says 50%. We're under 50% right now, but they're apparently going to let me do it. I'm just going to take that.
Minions will fail me.
So, yeah, let's collapse this army a little bit. We'll combine some of these units of Marauders and make room for new recruitment.
For your god.
Oh, some of the stuff coming through the global, or some of the stuff in the global pool will come through really, really quickly. I'm surprised by that. Well, what do we want most? I definitely want some rider, some cavalry units. We can get Marauders of Slaanesh with Hell Scourges. So how do these compare to the ones that we're used to using? They have considerably better melee defense. They're actually good melee fighters. They lose the bonus versus infantry, though. So yeah, they have the same level of shielding. Sometimes you'll see shields of different colors that provide different tiers of defense. So yeah, basically they're just better at actually standing up in melee, but they're worse at killing enemy infantry. I don't think we really want to roll that way. And then the ones with spears are just about being anti-large. How much anti-large do they have? Wow, 15 bonus versus large. And compared to the Marauders, okay, they have a bunch of extra melee defense and stuff. Yeah, having some of those could be useful, I suppose. What about these fancier units? These Demonettes have... So here, we'll pin the stats for normal Marauders. Demonettes have considerably higher melee stats all around. They have a lot of armor piercing on their attacks. Yeah, almost all of their damage is armor piercing. That's really nice. They also have devastating flanker, which is cool. Okay, so yeah, they're a sort of a pseudo cavalry unit. They get around behind the enemy. They do bonus damage from the back. That's pretty cool. I think we want some proper cavalry, though. Yeah, geez, look at the charge bonus these things have. Sadly, they do require 2 turns to recruit. So you have to just stand here for a second. But I mean, if we're trying to get ready for the roar, it's probably worth it, right? It's probably worth it to spend some time standing around. Actually, let me, were I to put you into March mode... No, we wouldn't quite make it to the Bay of Blades. I'm looking at how much health we're missing on some of these units and thinking it might be a good idea to have, to be getting real replenishment. Nah, it's fine. We'll just do our recruiting right here. We'll stand still for a couple of turns.
I require further.
So that's what I'm going to do through the local pool. Then let's talk about this global pool. Let's collapse these a little bit.
Living weapons of conquest. Serve me. Serve chaos.
So that'll give us 3 more slots to work with. So we could bring in some proper Chaos Warriors. The Chaos Warriors have 100 armor, 45 melee defense. They have Frenzy, which is very powerful. They seem like just way better general melee units. If we compare, again, the base stats of a Marauder here, the Chaos Warriors have lower melee attack and no bonus versus infantry. So they probably do a little bit less damage overall. But still, like, real heavy infantry might be worthwhile. Riding units, of course, more ranged. Maybe this is what I want to do. Maybe I want to bring in, like, at least a couple more shooters.
Minions, bow before your god.
And then, if I'm honest, I just kind of don't think the Nurglings are good. They're too slow moving, and the poison's fun, but we have these poison cavalry units and stuff. I think I'm gonna bring in some bloodletters for their slot. So, like, how much... I'm trying to figure out exactly how much reshaping we want to do here, because we have 2 turns of standing still. So we can bring in bloodletters now, and then we could kick out up to, like, 3 more units. What else do I want to bring in? I don't know. I guess maybe it doesn't make sense to reshape the army any more than this. We could drop a couple of the... We could drop the 2 lower performing Marauder units and replace them with Chaos Warriors so that we have a little bit more of a mix of infantry that we can apply in different ways. I think I'm going to do that, actually. Plus, it makes our force a little bit more like
Serve me.
a little bit more multicultural here. Oh yeah, you're getting kicked for some bloodletters. Oh, I can't do that. I ran out of money. Well, that's fine. We can put them in the recruitment queue next turn, and they'll still come in time. We'll have the money. All right. And if we're definitely going to kick them out, it makes sense to kick them out now, even if we can't replace them immediately, because this way I don't have to pay their upkeep. You want to try this again? You know, you'll get it eventually. We'll keep swinging. Okay. We have gained access to a new tale.
Demon Prince.
Did we look at the charging horns? I mean, obviously they're for charging. Who would have thought? The Tale of Many Mouths. Yeah, not really too impressive. I am curious though. No, it is a tale of... Oh no, okay. Okay. Fair enough. There are four. There are 4 mouths on this tale. The name is not misleading. That said, physical resistance and melee attack, right? Like, that's pretty good stuff. I really like the feeling of this force, trying to like balance our use of the 4 gods and stuff. This is cool. All right, a slightly more powerful and competent Kislevite force is on the way. And we have to be thinking about where we're going to be when the Chaos Gates open. Yeah, inconvenient timing. I guess they're never going to let me just do whatever I want, but... At the very least, most of the people actually to our south have sort of backed down and fallen to internecine struggles. Although Ellen Daling is at that coast. Alright, so the Bjornlings, it looks like the Bjornlings are going to take out that Sarl army for me. So I can probably focus on the Spartak Zamvin's army.
The Tome of Fate.
Alright, the rift has opened. The Forbidden Citadel is under attack by that little Kostaltan force. Do I think I could take them?
Die before betraying Kislev.
Probably, honestly. Okay, we have successfully assaulted them. Let's get another level of Assassinate for you. I'm basically going to build these 2 heroes exactly the same. It's just, it's nice to have a couple of units that can do that thing. So, okay, we have a couple of Chaos Gates real close.
Chaos reigns.
Like I said, let's go ahead and jam that other set of... Do we want another set of Bloodletters, or... So we probably don't need the Daemonettes. We have our hero plus our Chaos Furies for all the flying stuff. So it's like, do we need another killing unit, or do we need another withstanding unit? Maybe we kind of have a lot of killing units, actually. Maybe it would be best to just, yeah, let's just bring in more toughness.
I require further draws.
Alright, so next turn we'll be at mostly full health, ready to do the thing. So you can't really... I might just have the Forbidden Citadel's garrison ride out and attack now.
Unhand the Supreme Patriarch!
What do you have in your garrison? So some Plague Bearers of Nurgle. A lot of this garrison is just Nurglings, which is a bummer. And some Plague Toads. We have a Nurgle caster. A plague-ridden caster of the Death School. things are probably not going to get better for me on this front, right? This army is coming to back them up. I think we should press them back now. Yeah. We should also weaken these two armies as much as we can. Turns out not to be that much. All right, they reckon close defeat. I reckon I can do better than that. I mean, we'll see, I guess. If we end up losing the Forbidden Citadel here, it's not the end of the world. We can retake it after we deal with the Chaos Gate. But I think this represents our best chance of holding on to it. So our greatest danger here is the War Sleds. They're not super powerful, but they're fast-moving units with rifles, and we may have a hard time catching them. That said, if we can handle Costalton, it probably doesn't matter. Actually, yeah, the greatest danger is probably Costalton himself. He has good combat stats. We know he's a competent fighter. But if we can take him down, I'm sure we can break their we can just break their morale. So let's have a look at the capabilities of our units here.
Ready.
Well, okay then. So yeah, that's Akold, our wizard, who has aspect of the Dread Knight and Spirit Leech. Okay, we can Spirit Leech Costalton at least. Although, I'm sure 0 skill points in these, so no overcasting. The Exalted Plague Bearers of Nurgle here have some kind of special ranged attack. Also, Clouds of Flies. So 40 melee defense plus Cloud of Flies plus 20% physical resist plus 35 armor. They're actually pretty tough. None of that stuff's going to help very much against the guns, though. Then we have some normal Plague Bearers, which are, yeah, just the same thing but worse. No big surprise there. Lots of poisonous attacks in this army, which is cool. They're actually pretty cute in kind of a horrible way. Weapon strength 50, pretty significant bonus versus infantry. Again, lots of poison attacks. Very obviously very common in this army. And then we got you. It's just sort of the softer version of the plague flies that our main army's using. Okay. So we want to be in the trees. I think that's the most important thing here. We want to exist in these trees as much as possible. I am going to maybe put some of these Vanguard deploying Nurglings out here. But most of our force is going to start right in front of this copse of trees, just as close to the trees as we can, and we're going to get into them as fast as possible to get cover from the War Sleds. And if Costalton wants to come fight us in the trees, he is fully welcome to do so.
Record.
So I want to make sure we position this in a sensible way. Let's get... We want to be pretty deep in. The more cover we get, or the more trees between us and the enemy, the better. I want the toads to be in the back because they're going to be like a hop around and flank type unit. Okay. If I remember correctly, Spirit Leech has like a really long range. That's not quite as long as I remember, but... Oh no, it's not very long at all now. Ow. Shot some kind of fireball at me. Gosh, and he's gotten all the way up to level 12. Okay, once we have everybody in the trees here, my plan is to walk the Exalted Plague Bearers up to the tree line and start shooting acid here. And hopefully the enemy will respond by charging us so that we don't just shoot acid at them forever from the safety of the trees. Although, to be perfectly honest with you, if they did want to just let me do that, I wouldn't complain. Okay. Now that we're all in, let's be cautious here. I don't want to expose myself too much. So you have to walk all the way to the tree line. You are definitely going to get riddled with arrows if you do that. And yeah, shoot, the range on these things is only 70, while the range on the enemy's units is 90. Or even larger on the guns. Alright. Let's maybe try to draw them forth with the bugs. Then. Okay, these ones don't... there they go. I was going to say, they don't seem to fly very fast. Okay, I seem to have done something that makes them feel they need to move, so maybe I don't even... I certainly don't want to just offer my rot flies up to their bows, right? I want to make them feel like they got to move in on us, though. I think we can move up enough to get some shots off here while still being basically in the safety of the trees.
Titan ones. Tallyman.
Guns.
One eye lost it.
Okay, never mind. That's not working.
Throne of destruction. Yeah, this might not actually be. They might be too canny for my move here. In which case, I think we're in a little bit of trouble. All right, y'all don't have shields or anything, right? And 25 armor. Yeah. Well, we got them to come closer to us, which is certainly going to help. All right, I think we're going to have to push them. And again, we're the attackers here, right? So the impetus is on me. All right, yeah, let's do it. We're going to eat at least one full volley of ranged fire here, and that is terrible news. But there's really nothing for it. Okay, so you're coming out. And I think for right now, my plan is to basically just ignore the war sleds. That's not like a long-term viable plan, but we gotta crush this infantry really fast first. Yeah, I was really hoping we were going to be able to bait them. Okay, I do want to see this ranged attack go off. Okay, it's doing something. And I hate to put too fine a point on it here, but like, we don't have to care about the lives of any of these units. Any degree of survival is acceptable here. So yeah, just whatever gets pulled off gets pulled off. So 37 speed on these, 75 speed on the light war sleds. We are never going to be able to catch these war sleds. This is a nightmare. The war sleds are a real problem.
So our Lord has some combat capabilities. Some. I'm going to give these Plague Bears the ability to cause terror in the hopes that it will help keep Castalton down.
I command. Boom. Enemy, die! Swords, children, plague, Taliban.
Keep Spirit Leeching him as much as possible. Okay, if the bears put themselves in a position where we can tie them up in melee, I'm sure we can beat them. The only thing they have going for them is the fact that they can avoid fighting us. Okay, those units are dying pretty quickly. Actually, Castalton's taking a lot of damage. Put some terror on all of you. No, why did you stop attacking? Yeah, flying units deciding that they just want to hang out is going to be a problem. My Lord is losing. You gotta get out of there, buddy. He's having a way harder time in combat than I thought he was going to. Yeah, his stats were not really that bad. Okay, well, our Lord going down is going to have some serious morale repercussions. I am not entirely happy with the way this has worked out. Come the Plague Toads. And I was kind of hoping to use the Plague Toads against Castalton, but he's on bareback now. They've got him mounted, so he's a cavalry unit. The anti-infantry doesn't even help against him. I think we are, in fact, just going to lose this settlement. And without our spell casting, it's very hard to imagine us clearing out Castalton. I needed the Spirit Leech. Like I said, this is not the end of the world. With the help of our legendary Lord, it should be no problem to retake this stuff. But at the very least, we've done a lot of damage to this army. Get them, frogs. I like that a lot of their attack is just pouncing around on dudes. The Nurgle units are very fun. They're way more fun than I was expecting. Oof, wow, the frogs lost all their HP very quickly there. Alright, well, that's the end of that settlement. We hadn't really built it up very much. A valiant defeat indeed. My hopes were really based on the idea that we would be able to bait their ranged units forward, and when they held and made us have to actually charge them, yeah, that hurt. I should have just let them attack the settlement, I guess. No, but I mean, like, that wouldn't have worked, right? Because they have that second army coming in as reinforcements. It was fight them now or fight 25 or so units, which is definitely going to end in our deaths, so... Oh well. We'll get it fixed. Unfortunately, I don't know how long it's going to take to do that, because we sure do have more important things to worry about first. With Castalton on bareback, I think we're going to find that he's actually less dangerous. Like, it's easier for him to get around the battlefield, but he's not going to have quite the same stand and fight melee stats that he used to. And also, because he is a large unit, it's going to be much easier to just burn him down with ranged attacks. So in the long run, I think that was probably an error on their part. We'll see. So we're still 2 turns away from this. Obviously, we're also a lot of dollars away from this, but hopefully we'll make some money beating people in combat in the Chaos Realm. Some favor. So I think we're just good for now. Do I want to buy these upgrades? I'm not sure that I do, because of the money situation. Well, we should build a soaring siphon at the very least. Yeah, what's the size of that second army? So it's another 11 units, mostly guns. Yeah, waiting wasn't going to be better. It's just that neither option was great.
Once I achieve true godhood, you may serve.
Okay, the Exiles of Khorne, sure. God, so many Kislev armies all up in my stuff all at the same time at the exact moment that I want to be devoting all of my attention elsewhere. And actually, we need to make sure we're paying attention to the location of other gates. Because anything we can't go through in a useful way, we definitely need to close. Well, we have no idea what it looks like on the other side of the gate at the moment, right? So it's hard to even know how important it would be to keep a second one open. Is it possible we could go through one, get what we want from it, and then benefit from a second one? I guess we're going to find out in just a second here, because I think that the close Nurgle gate, I think, is within a single turn's movement for Iglixis. Yeah, let's continue to take the Howling Chalice. We have some Khornate forces nearby. Yeah, people are entering domains. I see it.
I have ascended.
Okay, maybe it's more than one turn's movement. We'll teleport real close, and then we'll enter with basically full movement next turn.
Hell sent foot. Blood Reaper.
Cran probably just needs to be on the business of harassing the Norskins, but probably these Norskins. And assaulting units at this point is probably not worthwhile because they're in friendly territory, or they're in a friendly settlement, so they're just going to heal through it. Yeah, let's break off of that. So there's another Chaos Gate over here. We might want to, at the very least, be in a position to close that. We're not spending anything here. So yeah, pretty short turn, actually. Ooh, a sentient spined tail. Totally different from the other sentient tails. Okay, some of the Kislevites are turning around. Basically couldn't be better news. Don't know why they're doing that exactly, but I'll take it. That is definitely a Nurglish force. Yeah, the balance of power bar underneath the Ungol Kindred was completely green, so wherever their army went, it definitely died. Ellen Daling is going to harass... she's going to harass the Kislevites. Maybe that's why we saw some of the Kislevite forces turn around. That's good timing for us. Very convenient. Alright, let's see about this new tail. I can't imagine I'm going to change things here. Okay, upkeep down for Tsinchian units, that's cool.
Demon Prince.
We should at least have a look. Apparently we got a bunch of new stuff since we've last been in here. Okay, a head that gives the Purple Son of Xerius. You know, that's not bad. 5% missile resistance. What is my current one? My current one's giving us Frenzy. Oh, that's right. That's right, our current headpiece is amazing. We would lose 5 melee attack by moving to the medium armor, but we gain 25 armor. I think I would rather... why is it showing... It is indicating that our melee attack will actually only decrease by 3 points. We keep the ward save. We trade a bunch of the melee defense for armor. Like, this just makes us way worse as a duelist, I think. Probably not worth the changeover. Foreboding Ignition doesn't seem very good to me. This is melee defense instead of physical resistance, which is probably better. So, in case I haven't explained this, the function that determines whether a melee attack hits somebody is based on the attacker's melee attack compared to the defender's melee defense. From the relative values of those two stats, that's where the hit chance is generated. So it is probably the case that losing 5% physical resistance but gaining 5 melee defense is actually an increase in survival time when, like, dueling with a lord or something. But certainly not against ranged attacks or anything where the melee defense is going to do nothing. We'll stick with the Battle Worn. We definitely did pull some new wings. Wings that give Cloud of Flies are interesting. We lose the ward save, but 9 defense plus 5% missile resist. I'm gonna stick with the aged wings, but yeah, it's interesting at least. All right, I think it's time to do this.
Lowliest slaves.
Oh, okay. The fact that it's green doesn't mean we have to enter the realm of the Plague Lord. So right now the Ice Court is already here. We could use that. Yeah, they don't have a soul yet, so I'm way less worried about them. Let's go to one where we're going to be unchallenged. We're particularly good at fighting... Well, we haven't actually taken any of those things, but I think our units have the ability to hate Tzeentch. I don't know. Let's just pick one. Because we haven't actually put any skill points in any of that stuff.
The realm of chaos. A place unbound. The constraints of the mortal dimensions have no effect here. Only the whims of the dark gods matter.
Okay, this is really something.
There are places where no ruinous power claims influence. In the Forge of Souls, Be'lakor lurks, and Ursun dies. Until we have the 4 Demon Prince souls, it will remain out of reach.
Okay.
The realm of the sorcerer. Trust not your senses, for the intricate magics of the great sorcerer reshape reality around you. Try to stay on the right path as you fight through many-hued islands to stand triumphant before the impossible fortress. There, Tzeentch's favored demon prince, the Librarian, stands sentinel. Slay him to claim his soul.
This is very cool and involved.
Grows with changing faces. Each one speaks to lives from
So yeah, there's a lot of guys around here. So here we are next to Ezekiel, Keeper of Lores. Find your way to the Impossible Fortress and bring the Librarian to battle. Use the teleport locust points to move through Sinch's realm. Each locust corresponds with another one on a different island. Cryptic sigils above them can help you find your way. Move quickly, for others may solve the maze before you. Diverting through this realm to visit myriad strange places may result in boons and offers from the Changer. Rewards range from replenishment to revealing the sigils hidden above each locust. Also, you're not welcome here. You are going to fight some demons. The longer you spend here, the more your mind will be unhinged, and your lords afflicted with chaos traits. Okay. I mean, it seems like... Can we not path from where we are? No, I guess this is probably not traversable, right?
This world
Yeah.
will burn.
Right. Direct pathing, not actually an option. Well, we're gonna have to fight the All-Seeing Eye here, or
You
the
must
Keeper of
die.
Lores. Oh, but stepping in here cost all my movement for the turn. Fair enough.
Destroy all.
Cran...
Blood Reaper.
Yeah, I guess harass the Ice Court? Oh, they have a hero in this army. That is unacceptable to me. Remove them. Okay, I'm gonna need you to get better at doing that. I think we want to close this then. Yeah, because it seems like we're going to be in here for quite some time. That probably makes sense. It probably makes sense to close that. All right, we have hit the amount of population we need. Now it's just a matter of getting the money together. And then after we do that, I swear to you, Second Army. It is definitely time for Second Army. So I wonder if... Okay, that answers my question. Yes, they can use the portals on the islands to move around. Oh no, the Ice Court is in fact going to push our territory while we are in the Chaos Realm. Well, losses are reclaimable. It's not a big deal. Although if we end up losing our whole damn army while we're in here, obviously that'll be a problem. So it seems like Kairos Fateweaver, it looks like managed to move right next to us. Their army seems quite large and terrifying. So maybe we will just run away? You know what would actually be kind of nice? If the Glothal brood could just become large enough and distracting enough to keep us safe from the Kislevites for the moment.
Fallen champion.
Oh, actually, Kairos Fateweaver is not one of the armies from here. He's the Sinchian... Okay. So... That's a teleport locus. This is just a place where we can get a favor. And this locust does not have a sigil above it. So we don't know where that one goes. We saw somebody move into here. I guess let's just... I'm just going to hit this.
Go forth, my thralls.
Okay, that took us up here.
How small.
I guess there's a chance these will reveal information, so we should probably be hitting them for that reason. Where does the Eternity Stair lead? Some say only the great architect truly knows. Is there... Oh, I guess this is the Eternity Stair. It's not actually that... I mean... You know, there's just somewhat less of it than you might expect, given the name, is all I'm saying. Yeah, I guess we can stay here and keep working on Kustalton. Hooray, we did it. Additional 15% casualties inflicted is wonderful news. Also, he's picked up a Nurglish Zealot. Well, I guess we can start working on Assault Garrison here. So I believe this third skill point, yeah, unlocks at level 10. So we'll be able to finish up all of these hero skills in real short order here. And you, I think I am going to have you just close this. Even though we kind of need the favor for other things. Yep, and then we're just saving for the moment. We just hit the hour, but also we just hit the Chaos Realm. We're going to go a little bit longer here because I want to experience this place a little bit more. So Kairos Fate Weaver is following us, which, oh man, they're going to get Black Gulch. There's not really anything I can do about that. Well, at least we got to use the recruitment building that we put up there. Yeah, this is an annoying time for the Ice Courts to be up here in force, but I imagine that's exactly why they did it. I do sort of wish, and maybe, I think I'm going to ask for some coordination from our allies here. This is not necessarily the best time.
Are brief and pitiful against my...
Thane Frost, what? No. Absolutely not. I know why you want peace, and it's exactly the reason you will not be receiving it. But yeah, this would be a great time for some of our allies to perhaps be focused a little bit on the defense of Norskin lands and a little bit less on raiding in the south. Okay, other people are entering. Let's, like I said...
Enter then. Are you after a drink? A fist fight?
No, I just wanna do a war coordination with you. How do I've forgotten how to do this. I want you to help me fight Spartak Zamvin. Here we go. Select target. This nerd. Oh, you're not formally at war with him, though. Shoot. Yeah, our shared enemies are these. Well, how about this? Target that, if you could just... 16 turns. Oh, okay, 16 turns is the length of the request, not the time to respond. Okay, yeah, just like, if you could just bring a force over here and look menacing, I'm sure the war will follow. Okay.
Team champion.
So... let us claim whatever is in the Eternity Stair.
Search of conquest.
The Architect of Fate is gratified you have come to observe one of his wonders and so makes an offer. Yeah, reveal sigils, please. Yeah, well, I knew that. And it did only reveal the one... So this one is the one we need to use. And it does have a sigil visible above it already. Can we tell where the other end of that is? Where's the other locus that has the green L? It looks like no. So I guess we'll just have to bolt through this one next turn and hope that some good comes of it. I might... Yeah, I'm gonna have you come over here. We gotta deal with Spartak here. I'm gonna have Alas of Change also head in this direction. Something's gotta happen. Black Gulch has a 14-unit garrison. There's not really anything else we can do. Yeah, it won't have time to upgrade any further or anything, so... Who exactly are you at war with? Your faction... Too damn many Kislevites. Strength rank 2. Of all of the factions in the entire world, this one is the second strongest. So, of course, they're all up here in my business. Of course, I mean, obviously they're at war with all the proper demon factions. Where is that... Where's that Cornate faction that we're friends with? They're strength rank 8.
Murder upon his gaze is not upon us.
And they want...
I would have to kill you.
Okay. I like this.
Acceptable.
So we get an alliance with them, and then we ask for war coordination here. I can outpost them. Here, am I allowed to... What am I looking at? Oh, we're way north. We're looking at what they can see. I would love it if we could...
Something encroaches on our darkness.
So I'm not allowed to select a target because asking them for help requires 10 points of allegiance. And okay, it'll be 5 turns. I see. I'm getting how this works. I really like that system. I like that there's way more mechanics now to the ally system. All right, the Exiles of Khorne are doing some kind of thing I can't really see. You know, they're a very powerful faction. Definitely a good ally. So there's all kinds of wacky stuff going on in the proper Chaos Lands north of us. Maybe I should be less concerned with all of these snowy mortal plains. Okay, they're just gonna have at us immediately. The game says close defeat. I can't imagine how this is a close defeat. Seems to me we would get ripped apart here. Yeah, most of their melee troops are great weapon melee, so they have massive armor piercing, and our whole deal here is that we are armored.
Demons, prey is here.
I think this is a much better outcome than we would have received by doing it by hand. And there's simply nothing we could have done about that. Even with the Glixis around, I think that would have been a challenge. Okay, Kairos Fate Weaver's getting into some trouble up there. It's good news for us, since we stopped off to beg for a favor that was not useful. Kairos got to be the first one through the door, and as such receive the gift that is customary. I am a little worried. If the Ice Court wants to just keep pushing northward, I guess they have to take a break for a minute here because their units are now in terrible shape. So they have to replenish, but if they want to just keep pushing north, I don't know that there's too much we can do. I guess the Doomkeep has such a large and powerful garrison that it maybe would not be vulnerable to attack by that army. Maybe. Hopefully the Gothel brood can continue to grow in power until it is a threat. Yep, that's true. The war coordination target was lost. Ah, the Taint of Tzeentch. Because we have spent time in the realm of the sorcerer, we've lost 30% of our campaign line of sight. And our Winds of Magic Power reserve is being leached from us rapidly. Can be removed by garrisoning in a province capital or settlements that have buildings from the protection chain. Yeah, we saw, okay, it's not on any of the stuff we actually built, but yeah, I did see that on one of the buildings, that there's a set of buildings specifically for reducing or removing bad chaos traits. Vegeta has leveled up a little bit. We're holding out for a greater Seeker Chariot, an exalted Seeker Chariot. She is level 16. Do I want Phantasmagoria? Prevents people from moving, but at great cost. I mean, it's fine, I suppose. Hysterical Frenzy might actually be, if we can be smart with it, it might actually be very good. We could also focus on her actual melee traits instead of picking up more spells. I think I want to max out Hysterical Frenzy at the very least, though. It seems useful.
Hellish power.
You know, let's go knock out this army really fast.
Annihilation.
It's like a very easy battle.
Now is the time of conquest.
And we could use the money, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, pretty solid.
Slow ruination upon it.
We've gotten a reputation for removing our enemies' heads. So Kairos Fateweaver ended up over here.
Bloody tribute to chaos. I have ascended.
We do have enough movement to get through the portal still.
Carnate.
Let's finish off Ravishing Cavalcade, and then we might want to start specializing in some of the other lords' stuff. We have a lot of Cornate units in our army now, and a lot of Tzeentchian units.
Mortal glory.
Oh, that didn't take us to the same place. Well, that's concerning.
Reborn to triumph.
Hopefully, the path to the true Liar's Monolith will allow us to get quick replenishment instead of information. Honestly, I'm a little, leery of spending time getting information at this point, because who knows if it'll even be useful stuff. See if you can remove this hero from this army. It would be very helpful. Nope. Of course not. We're going to harass the hell out of this army as long as we are down here. We're not doing outposts or anything right now. Next turn, we are actually, thanks to the battle we just won, we are actually going to have the resources necessary to commit the big upgrade. Join our war against the subtle torture. No, thank you. Giving me nothing in return. Wow, some of the Cornate demon names are a little... Well, I guess it's not just the Cornate demon names. Some of the demon names in general are a little hard to pronounce. Okay, so Kairos found a way to there. But it's not actually a maze, right? Because we went in a teleporter and went to a different place than Kairos did. So it's actually just randomness. Unless you reveal sigils. Unless I'm wrong, but I think we went through the same teleporter that Kairos went through. So it may well be the case that without revealing sigils, you would never ever get there, right? You could just get bad luck over and over again. And we don't actually know whether it is possible to just get, good luck in the sense that you get an immediate... The first time you step in a teleporter, it takes you where you're going. So, still a lot to unravel about this. And boy, oh boy, are we unraveling. I wonder how hard it would be to get the Norscan factions around us to declare war on the Ice Court. It's probably pretty difficult to convince a faction to declare war on someone who has a much larger army than they do. Oh, Pincheye is looking perhaps a little aggressive. Oh, hey, the Doom keeps being sieged by some random asshole who will prevent it from being able to build up an upgrade. All right, Cold Tooth's entered the Dark Prince's realm. Yep, the Doom Keep is under siege, which is very annoying. But it's under siege by a relatively weak force. Huh. I don't think I believe... How could this possibly be a defeat? Like, all he's got is normal melee. And not even good... Okay. Here's the deal. I'm not going to do this attack right this second, because we're 90 minutes into this episode. But this is where we're going to leave it, I guess, for the moment. I'm going to just make the quick save here. This is where we will leave it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, tomorrow, this is how it's beginning. We are going to crush the Putrid Swarm for having the audacity to defile the Doomkeep with all of their various scents and fluids. And then we're going to finally start pursuing this long-awaited upgrade, and hopefully also some good stuff's going to happen in the Chaos Realm. Fingers crossed. And we'll see you then.